Hello and welcome to Inherited Dawn, the One Piece podcast that dives deep into the Grand Line every single week.
This is chapter 1180. The official title isn't out yet, but if I had to name it, it would be Omen.
Omen is right, because the king of the world just showed up in Elbaph and decided to play surgeon on a giant's hands with a weapon we've never seen before. The power scaling just got thrown out the window.
Thrown out, set on fire, and then erased from history. We just learned more about the top of the world in these 20 pages than we have in the last 1,000 chapters.
Seriously, if you're like us and you need to break down every single detail just to process what Oda is doing, you're in the right place. Maybe hit that subscribe button so you're with us next week when the fallout from this chapter hits. You won't want to figure that one out alone.
Let's begin. The chapter opens right where we left off, but the vibe is completely different. Imu is there. Not arriving, just there.
It's that instant arrival that gets me. 1 second, chaos. The next, a dead, terrifying silence as this figure stands in the middle of Western Village. It's not just quiet, it's like the sound itself is afraid to exist. We've seen overwhelming Conqueror's Haki from Shanks and Luffy where people pass out. This is different. This feels like the world itself is holding its breath.
It's an oppressive presence. It feels less like an assertion of will, like Conqueror's Haki, and more like a fundamental violation of nature, as if a black hole just opened in the middle of the village, sucking in all light and sound. And the first words out of their mouth are, "Who is the king of Elbaph?"
And what a question to ask. It's not surrender or I am your god. It's a simple information gathering question, but delivered with the weight of an executioner's sentence. It's terrifying because it's so cold and detached.
Dory and Brogy immediately step up, giants among giants, and tell him Elbaph has no king. The pride in that statement is immense. They're a nation of warriors, not subjects. They've been gone for over 100 years, but that core tenet of their culture is the first thing they defend. It's beautiful in a way.
It's the perfect giant response. We bow to no one. But Imu doesn't even care. It's like they're not even listening. They don't acknowledge the two legendary warriors standing in front of them. Their eyes just lock onto Summers, who's still being held by Gerd, and then it happens.
It's so fast, I had to reread it to understand what I was seeing. The paneling is masterful. One moment, Imu is standing still. The next, there's a blur of motion, a glint of this strange scissor-like weapon they're holding, and a sound effect that isn't a slash, it's a snip. Before anyone can react, Imu moves, swings her weapon, and just snips. The tips of Gerd's thumbs and index fingers are gone.
It's so brutal in its precision. It's not a big, flashy slash like something Mihawk would do. It's a calculated, cruel move designed for one thing, to make her let go. He didn't try to overpower her. He just disabled her ability to hold on. He didn't attack her as a warrior. He disabled her like a tool. That's so much more insulting.
And let's talk about who he did this to. This is Gerd, the giant girl who was friends with Mother Carmel and a young Big Mom. She was part of the giant warrior pirates before they disbanded. She's a legend in her own right, and Imu just mutilated her hands without a second thought. The sound of a giant warrior like Gerd falling back in shock and pain? That's chilling.
Chilling doesn't even cover it. It's a statement. It's Imu saying, your strength, your size, your history, none of it matters to me. You are an inconvenience. What kind of weapon is that anyway? It looks almost organic, like it's part of their arm, and it moves like a pair of shears. Can it cut anything? Is it a manifestation of a devil fruit power?
It's unlike anything we've seen. It's not a blade, it's not a club, it's a tool for pruning. That's the most disturbing part. Imu is pruning Elbaph, and it's meant to be a display. This isn't a battle. It's an exterminator dealing with pests. Imu's first action on Elbaph isn't a declaration of war. It's a statement of absolute dismissive superiority.
The rage from the other giants, you can feel it coming off the page. But before they can even act, Summers is already free, walking over and picking up his steel heart. He looks almost reverent. And then Imu does something else. They point their weapon at him and bestow something called an Omen on him, and he's healed.
This is the part that broke my brain. So this power isn't just destructive, it's restorative, but seemingly only for those Imu deems worthy. It's a tool of control. He harms his enemies and heals his servants with the same hand. The duality is terrifying. It's the power of a god deciding who is blessed and who is cursed.
And the name is everything. Omen, a sign of things to come. Imu literally hands out good omens to their allies and bad omens to their enemies. It's so literal, it's almost poetic. So, is this a devil fruit? The Omen fruit? The mythical Zoan model Baphomet or something? It feels too conceptual to be a standard paramia.
It could be something that predates devil fruits entirely, something connected to the Void Century. Whatever it is, it operates on a logic we don't understand yet. And of course, the first person to step up to this monster is our guy, Rora Zoro. He just walks forward, swords ready, and asks the question, "Are you one of the Knights of God?"
Such a Zoro move. No fear, just a tactical question. He's trying to categorize the threat. He's thinking, okay, we heard about these gods' knights. Is this one of them? How do I fight this? He's trying to fit this incomprehensible power into a box he can understand and cut.
A logical question, given what we know. But Imu again offers only silence. The answer is irrelevant to them. They don't need to explain themselves to a pirate. The lack of an answer is in itself an answer. It's saying, you don't even have the clearance to know who I am.
Hajrudin doesn't care either. He just screams that it doesn't matter who he is. He hurt Gerd, and that makes him an enemy. Pure, simple, giant honor. He's not thinking tactically. He's thinking with his heart. He charges in.
And Stansen, who's the shipwright from the giant warrior pirates, he sees it coming. He has better observation hockey, or maybe just a better sense of self-preservation. He yells at Hajrudin to stay back, that they don't know what Imu is capable of. He understands that this isn't a fight you can win by just charging.
And then he does the most heroic, heartbreaking thing. He kicks his own captain, his friend, out of the way of Imu's attack. He takes the hit for him. It's such a perfect One Piece moment. It's like Zoro taking Luffy's pain from Kuma. It's pure loyalty.
That's the heart of Elbaph right there. That's what a crew is. Stansen didn't hesitate. He saw the danger and protected his own. That's warrior spirit. But man, the cost. That's showing that even for a giant, Imu's attacks are too fast and too devastating to deal with. They're trying to stay back, to reassess, but the situation is already out of control. It's like watching a pride of lions trying to figure out how to fight a tank. The rules of engagement are completely alien to them.
Which is when Zoro decides he's seen enough. He's not waiting for an explanation anymore. King of Hell, three-sword style, Rengoku Onigiri. This is one of his strongest, fastest attacks, infused with Conqueror's hockey coating. This is the attack that scarred Kaido. He goes for the kill shot.
And Imu blocks it. With their tail.
A tail. A tail. I had to put my tablet down and just walk around the room for a minute. Not a weapon, not an arm coated in hockey. Casually, almost lazily, just blocks one of Zoro's signature moves with a tail. What does that even mean? What kind of creature are they? Is Imu a devil? Is that why they have the pointed tail? A mythical Zoan user who is in a hybrid form?
The implications are staggering. First, it confirms Imu is not human, or at least not entirely human. Second, the strength required to do that is absurd. Zoro's hockey-infused blades against a fleshy appendage? That tail should have been sliced clean off. It means Imu's body itself is impossibly durable, or their hockey is so dense and so advanced that it makes a tail stronger than Kaido's dragon scales.
Or it's not hockey at all. What if it's something else? Some kind of anti-hockey energy that just negates attacks. The disrespect of it is the worst part. Blocking with a sword would be a sign of respect. Blocking with an arm would be a show of strength. Blocking with a tail is like swatting a fly. It's Imu telling Zoro, your ultimate technique is a mild annoyance to my backside.
It means Zoro's brand of overwhelming physical force isn't going to work here. The power system is different. Imu doesn't play by the same rules. It's a complete conceptual defeat for Zoro in that moment.
And the counterattack proves it. Imu says one word, Omen. A small black flame appears on Zoro's chest and just erupts, blasting him clear across the village. Chopper is screaming his name. It's not a punch, it's not a slash, it's just an attack made of pure negative energy or something. It looked like a miniature version of the blast that destroyed Lulusia.
This is the same power used to heal summers. The name Omen is so deliberate. In mythology, an omen is a sign of what's to come, good or bad. Here, Imu is literally bestowing good or bad fortune as a physical attack. It's a curse made manifest. It's not just an explosion, it's a tangible piece of bad luck.
It's like a reversed version of Kuma's power. Kuma can push pain out of you. What if Imu can just create and push misfortune into you? And poor Zoro just got a concentrated dose of it.
Hajrudin, seeing Zoro go down, gets up and charges again, fueled by grief and rage. And he gets the exact same treatment. Another omen, another explosion of black flame, and now the whole village is burning with this stuff. It's not normal fire. It clings to the buildings in the ground like black tar.
It's a complete rout. In the span of a few moments, Imu has incapacitated 2 giants and one of the Straw Hat's strongest fighters without breaking a sweat. They haven't moved from their spot more than a few feet. They haven't breathed heavily. This is a Tuesday for them.
And then they just turn to Summers, give him his orders, finish the job, and the two of them split up, like it's just another day at the office. The casual cruelty is what's so terrifying. Imu isn't angry. They're not reveling in the destruction. They're just working. This is pest control.
We see the aftermath. Zoro is being told to get inside to help with the children. Can you imagine how that feels for Zoro? Being told he's too injured to fight and needs to be on babysitting duty? His pride has to be in absolute tatters. And the look on Ja Rule's face, this old legendary giant warrior, is just speechless.
That says it all. Ja Rule is the twin brother of Jorul, the other hero of Elbaph who died. He has lived through centuries of war and conflict. He's seen everything the world has to offer. When a warrior like that is shocked into silence, you know you're dealing with something unprecedented.
He gets on the horn, a transponder snail, I assume, and sends a warning to all of Elbaph. He says Imu is here, and his power is greater than the Knights of God.
That's the line. That's the new benchmark. We've been hyping up the Holy Knights as the final opponents, the strongest force of the world government. We saw their silhouettes. We heard about Figurland Garling. We assumed they were the peak. And Ja Rule, who has likely seen them in action, says this thing is on another level entirely.
This just completely shatters the power structure we thought we knew. It's not Luffy versus Akakainu, Zoro versus Mihawk, and the Straw Hats versus the Holy Knights. The real final boss just walked on stage while the mini-bosses are in the green room.
It completely reframes the world's power structure. The Gorosei, the Knights, they aren't the peak. They're the lieutenants. They're the admirals to Imu's fleet admiral. No, even higher. The Imu is the general.
As Imu flies away, and yeah, they can fly, of course they can, they pass the ice block where Gunko was frozen by Ragmir, and without even stopping, they fire a black ball of flame from their weapon, and boom, she's free. Another asset recovered.
This whole incursion feels like a retrieval mission. Imu isn't here to conquer Elbaph, not yet. They're here to collect their pieces that were lost on the board. Summers, Gunko, and, as we'll see, killing him. They were all Imu's agents. The civil war in Elbaph wasn't just an internal conflict. It was a proxy war orchestrated by the world government.
And while this is happening, Oda cuts to the lift where Scooper Gaban is, and he just says it. He senses Imu's haki, and he's never felt anything like it, not even at God Valley.
Let's just sit with that sentence for a second. Let that sentence sink into your bones.
Bro, seriously, this is Scooper Gaban, number 3 on the Oro Jackson, right hand to the Pirate King after Rayleigh. He was there, at God Valley. He stood on the island where Roger and Garp fought Rox D. Zebek, a man who had Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido on his crew. The single most legendary gathering of powerful figures in the history of the world. And Gaban is telling us that whatever Imu is putting out is stranger and more potent than anything he felt on that day.
It puts Imu on a tier of their own, above Roger, above Whitebeard, above Rox. The word Gaban uses is key, stranger. It's not just stronger. It tells us Imu's haki is fundamentally different. It's not just a stronger version of what we've seen. It might be an entirely different energy source, something ancient.
Maybe it's the negative C energy that Devil Fruit users are weak to but weaponized. Or maybe it's not Haki at all. Maybe it's the original power that Devil Fruits are just a pale imitation of. This isn't just top-tier Haki. This is something else entirely. Something alien. It's no wonder everyone is freaking out.
We see Luffy and Loki, who also sense it. They're trying to recover. Loki is charring their frozen food to cook it faster, and Luffy is complaining. It's a brief moment of levity, but the tension is thick. Luffy's face goes serious. He knows that presence. He might not know who it is, but he knows it's bad. It's probably the same feeling he got from Blackbeard, but amplified 1,000 times.
They know they need to get back in the fight, and fast, and the scene shifts again to Sanji's group. Jinbei, ever the lookout, senses the Haki too, and his immediate fear is for killing him. He says Imu might try to rescue him.
And of course he's right. Jinbei's wisdom is always on point. Just as he says it, Imu is there, another silent, instant arrival, cuts Killingham loose from the tree and bestows an omen on him, healing him instantly.
3 for 3. Summers, Gunko, Killingham, all former antagonists, all now revealed to be agents of Imu, and all recovered. Imu's plan, whatever it was, is back on track. This was a cleanup operation.
And Sanji does what Sanji does. He sees an enemy threatening his friends and messing up his capture and attacks. No questions, just a powerful flaming kick aimed right at Imu, Ifrit Janbei. This is the Germa-enhanced, Haki-infused, blue-flamed kick that is hotter than any fire. It's the peak of his abilities.
And Imu blocks it. Not with a tail this time, not with a weird power. Imu blocks Sanji's kick with their own kick, and then kicks him away, causing another explosion. The sheer disrespect of it, the audacity. It's one thing to have an alien power. It's another to perfectly mirror your opponent's signature style and then completely overpower them with it. It's a message. It's Imu saying, your ultimate technique, your defining fighting style, your entire family's genetic modifications and a lifetime of training. I can do that too, but better. And I don't even need to try. It's psychological warfare.
He met Zoro's blades with a tail to show they were irrelevant, and he met Sanji's kick with a kick to show he was inferior.
It's a complete power flex. They're systematically dismantling the Straw Hat's strongest fighters, not just physically, but mentally.
And just as Imu is about to leave, Loki arrives. He lands right in front of them, a massive, imposing figure, demanding to know what they want with Elbaph.
Finally, a confrontation, a leader-to-leader talk, and Imu gives a straight answer for once. I seek Harald's killer.
But it's the next part that changes everything. Imu refers to the former king of Elbaph as my servant.
My jaw hit the floor. The king of the proud warrior race of giants was a servant to the world government? To Imu? The insult is unbelievable. Loki's face, he's shaking with rage. This isn't just an accusation, it's a desecration of their entire history.
This connects so many dots. The schism in Elbaph, Loki's rebellion. It wasn't just about a disagreement over policy or isolationism. It was about their king, their leader, secretly being a puppet for the world's greatest power. Harald sold out his own people.
So Loki wasn't a traitor who killed his king. He was a revolutionary who executed a collaborator. He liberated Elbaph from secret world government control. This completely reframes his character. He's not just a prince. He's a freedom fighter.
Loki just roars. He rejects it completely. He screams that Harald was the king of Elbaph, not a servant. And then he says it. He looks Imu dead in the eye and proclaims that he is the killer they're looking for.
What a moment. He takes full responsibility. He stands there as the shield for his entire country. He's basically saying, your business is with me. Leave my people out of this.
Imu's response is so chillingly calm. They just look at this furious giant prince and say, if you hadn't been here, all of this trouble would have been avoided.
What does that even mean? Avoided for who? For Imu? For Elbaph? It sounds like Imu is saying Loki's very existence is the wrench in their plans. It's not just that he killed Harald, it's that he was there to do it at all.
It implies that without Loki's intervention, Harald would still be on the throne, and Elbaph would have remained a quiet vassal state of the world government. Loki didn't just kill a king, he severed a chain of command that went all the way to the top of the world. IMU'S centuries-long plan for Elbaph was ruined by one rebellious prince.
And Loki is not backing down. He basically tells IMU, if you want to bring any more harm to my home, you have to go through me. He is standing as the new, true king of Elbaph, ready to defend his people. What a cliffhanger.
A battle of kings, the secret shadow king of the world versus the defiant new prince of the giants. This is everything. This is what epic sagas are made of.
Man, this chapter just reset the entire power structure of the series. I have so many theories spinning in my head about IMU'S power, or what Harald's deal with the government really was. My brain is working overtime on this one.
Okay, predictions for chapter 1181. What do you have for me?
All right, prediction 1. The next chapter is going to open with the first clash. Loki is going to unleash his full power in a named attack, something that probably combines his fire abilities with his giant strength. We're going to see why he's the prince, but IMU is going to effortlessly neutralize it. Not to win the fight, but to show Loki and us that the gap in their power is astronomical. It's going to be a statement of futility, maybe by catching a giant flaming axe with 2 fingers, or something equally disrespectful.
I can see that. A demonstration of futility. Okay, my first prediction. IMU will elaborate on their line about Harald being a servant. We're going to get a single crucial line or a brief flashback panel showing the nature of their arrangement. It will reveal that Harald traded something of Elbaph's, maybe a secret like the location of the final road poneglyph, or a weapon, in exchange for power or protection from the world government. It will be a reveal that makes us reevaluate the giant's history.
Ooh, that would be a heavy reveal. Okay, my second prediction. We're cutting back to Luffy. He's done eating. The meat has been consumed. We are going to see him go full Gear 5 Nika mode, but not the goofy laughing version. It's going to be the angry, determined Nika we saw against Kaido. He's felt that hockey. He knows his friends are in trouble, and he is going to rocket towards IMU'S location to crash this party. The real main event is about to start. Drums of Liberation versus the silence of oppression.
That feels inevitable. For my second prediction, we won't see the other Gorosei yet. Instead, we're going to see the aftermath of IMU'S actions on the rest of the world. We'll cut to Morgan's at the World Economic Journal, his printers going wild. The news of a battle on Elbaph involving a mysterious figure is leaking, and the world government is in full panic mode trying to cover it up, showing that IMU'S direct intervention is a world-breaking event they can't control. This isn't a buster call they can just deny. This is a god walking among mortals, and there are too many witnesses.
I love that. The political fallout. This isn't just a fight. It's an event that will shatter the status quo. The world is about to find out that the empty throne isn't so empty after all. I can't wait.
Me neither. We'll have to see who was right next week. For now, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us on Inherited Dawn.
Keep sailing, and we'll see you next time.